Shalom, Akim. First of all, I'd like to start by giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahawashi, Ba'asham Rakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone every time. And salutations to the Akim doing this work. The topic today is going to be, around the subject of the value of men. All right, namely the Lord's elect. All right, the Lord's elect. Now, there's a few things I wanted to highlight during the course of this video, with the scriptures, as always, because I was meditating on this subject, the value of men. And pretty much right now, a man is not credited with anything, and pretty much women are at ease. Men are considered insignificant and lack value. Another point is that in the eyes of women, men are reproached, or a reproach, a burden. Women are held in such high regard, so much so that if a man was defending himself from a violent woman, that can provoke a violent response from the public. People might attack you just because you're arguing with your own woman. And that's where we are today in terms of the value of men. It's pretty much non-existent when it comes to women. They don't value us. Okay. So pretty much I wanted to go into the fact that the times we're going into are going to change the value of a man and woman. And for women and most men, it's going to be for the worst. But as for the Lord's elect, it's going to be for the best. So to start with, I'm going to go to Amos 5 and 18. Because women are at ease right now. All right. But in the time to come, they're going to be panicking. It says, "Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light." And you got these women that scripture says they wipe their mouth and say they have done no evil, roughly paraphrasing. All right, that's the attitude of mainly the Jake women, and then trickle down to all you other nations women into this this foreign state of mind. The attitude of being able to commit crimes against men, which should really be crimes and are crimes against men biblically, such as adultery, being a slut. In terms of you Jake women, man, you're not supposed to be acting like complete prostitutes. All right, there's scriptures against that, man. All right, but you pretty much come with this justify yourself spirit and consider yourself to be clean and worthy of Yahawashi. But the scripture says, "Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light." All right, and we're going to explain to what end is it for you in a moment, because pretty much I believe it's let me go to, let's just get it now, the book of Salakia, 1 Timothy 2 and 15. It says, notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing. All right. So the women of the elect are only going to be saved through childbearing. Okay. Showing you your input spiritually is of very little significance. In fact, it's insignificant, because the Lord will choose who he chooses to spare from judgment. Okay. And it ain't gonna be these 40-year-old haggard out sluts, okay, that consider themselves to be queens and Nubian princesses. Okay, just as an example, wearing blonde weaves. Okay. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness and sobriety. And that doesn't apply to the average Jake today. All right. And for that matter, it doesn't apply to these other nations' women either. So from here, I want to go back actually. Let's go back to Amos chapter 5. And I'll read 18 again. It says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. That's you women in them churches. You make up the majority of the flock in the churches. When the scripture tells you the flock of my pasture are men. But women don't respect men. All right. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Yeah, man. And women can't suffer the light being switched off and being home alone. All right. So just think about the adversity they would be in a time of the Lord's return. A time of darkness and no light. Okay. A time of uncertainty, a lack of security. It says, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into a house and leaned his hand on a wall, and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it? Okay, so a time of serious difficulty. All right. Uncertainty. The certainty that you have today is going to perish overnight. The confidence that you have that someone will save you and protect you is not going to be there in the time to come. All right. So continuing on. I despise your feast days. Yeah, you women are all into Christmas, these heathenistic, demonic holidays, and claim it's for the kids, and you don't care about a man saying, listen, I don't support that, and I'm not willing to invest my laborious money, my income, my daily bread into throwing banquets and parties for vanity, okay? Because that's what it is. These holidays are vanity because they're not coming from the scriptures, okay? The righteous holy days. But women will not delight in a man's words, especially the men teaching this truth. If you have a woman, you try and tell your woman certain things, they're going to act like demons, man. That's why it's really better to just have your own place where, you show your face from time to time, and then you just bounce, man, because our time is not to, basically to fulfill every desire of a woman. Our desires toward this truth and being teachers and students of this truth. Continuing on. And I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Yeah, that abominable food. you know, and that abominable dancing activity, man. Twerking. Say you're just in church and you're doing some twerking in some short split skirt, you know. Attitudes all off. Anyway, man, you know the type. Though you offer me burnt. Alright, that's the point on that, man. So, next scripture I wanted to go to is Isaiah chapter 4. And 1. Because men are considered insignificant and lack value. But then guess what? You're going to see in the time to come the true value of a man and the Lord anyway. And you're going to feel insignificant. And this scripture backs that point up. Isaiah 4 and 1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. All right, so women are going to be desperate to be taken on board by a man. But here it is: if a man has more than one woman, he's considered a lowlife, a cheat, somebody who is unworthy of her attention and her time. But in that day, she will realize that she is insignificant and desperately in search of one man shared by many. And we look forward to that day, man, to see you women in the place where you should be, which is to submit to under men, all right, to be underneath men, where you belong. That's in everything in Yahawashi has order, and women's order is to be servants to men, underneath men. That's their office, that's their position, and it should never be breached. That's why this wicked kingdom needs to be destroyed. So women are going to be the burden, all right? Women are not going to be held in high regard and disrespecting the man anymore. So from here I wanted to go to Isaiah 32 and 9. It says, rise up, ye women that are at ease, hear my voice, ye careless daughters. See, a lot of you are at ease and you think that, yeah, you got the police force, you got your exes, all these list or itinerary of phone numbers of people you consider friends, but really they were sleepers, shall I say, sleeper cells waiting to be, woken up, so to speak, to jump inside of your so-called prized possession, which, to be honest, a man in this truth, we don't worship pussy. For I know it sounds a bit vulgar, but we don't. Okay, if a woman wants to do her thing and move on, then we just keep it moving. Why? Because there's plenty of women. If so be it, a man should lose one woman, the man they got the saying, there's plenty of fish in the sea. We move on from that, man. Our life, our time, our investment is not towards women. So don't let them diminish your labor, man. Okay, don't let them take all your time. Don't let them play with your mind, and don't let their actions surprise you. As in the Apocrypha, it tells you, man. If I can remember, roughly paraphrasing, I believe it says Basically, don't be surprised. It doesn't say literally don't be surprised, but you can look it up, man. But anyway, continuing on. I'll be able to post it in post-production after this video. So anyway, let's see where we are. Yeah. Many days tremble you women that are at ease, be troubled you careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. See that? Gird sackcloth upon your loins, man. Alright? Because you've been living a life you're accustomed to, but then that life is not promised to you. And you're going to realize that everything, the environment, the society or community is just something that's been phased in over the last 100 years or less. All right, women's rights and so forth. That's just a fictitious belief that you are an a entity of power. We're gonna see how that power serves you when you ain't got no food and you got screaming children that you can't protect. So from here, I wanted to go to Luke, the book of Luke 21 and 22. It says, "For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled." And we are coming into a time which is the days of vengeance. The vengeance of who? Yahawashi upon his enemies, okay? That all things which are written may be fulfilled. Prophecies. All right, World War III. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck. All right, so that's you women, man. You claim to be the best moms, and men ain't shit. Then let's see if you got all that power and that big mouth to dominate and control, and see if anyone jumps in to protect you from adversity. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive unto all nations. All right, and that's basically going into history, the time that Israel was ransacked. All right, but that's another example of a time that we're going into too. All right, and you know, there's going to be a lot of death. So from here, my last scripture is Isaiah 13. Where did it say in the scriptures that women's going to be floating somewhere and being babysitted by angels? You know, if you believe that, then you got the wrong book, man. So this is Isaiah 13 and 11. "And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible." All right. So the world's going to get punished. But then guess what? The Lord's elect, the scripture's going to tell you how they're going to fare in this situation. "And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible." I will make a man. No, what did it say? A woman? A man. Why? Because a woman is underneath a man, and any benefit she has, like we read earlier in 1 Timothy 2:15, women shall be saved through childbearing. Guess what? That's because of the man she's rolling with. All right? Or to be paired up with. And there's more than likely going to be a virgin, all right? A woman of marriable age, all right? Ain't going to be these thoughts. So get out of your head, man. All right? And a brother might have a wife, or, you know, so to speak, a wife, man, a woman. You know, on this side, she's a demon. But on the other side, the Lord might save his household, man. And she might be a part of that. But a good example that I wanted to mention is the story of Lot. Because guess what? The Lord left Lot instructions and to tell his family and his wife, man, which was not to look back. And guess what? If she listened to her husband, she would have been all right. But she didn't respect him enough to follow what he told her to do. And that's what's going to happen, man. Women are going to try and lean on this psychology of being dominant and independent. And that's going to flash through their minds when they have no choice. And if they don't conform, they're going to find themselves in a desperate, dark situation. All right. It says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Precious, the opposite of insignificant. Therefore, profitable, you know, expensive. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. Yeah, man. Now let's look at a very dramatic example. You put a fly or a spider in the room, a woman wants to jump. Well, guess what? The description is that the Lord will shake the heavens, man, and the earth shall remove out of her place. Fierce anger. You're not going to want to be alive, man. You're going to give up the ghost. But you women are staying proud, steady, just disrespecting men. We're going to find out, man. All right? And we're going to laugh, man. You know, instead of, you know, you're going to have a rent garment and all sorts. And it shall be as a chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land. All right. But anyway, man, that was just on the topic of the value of men. The time that we're going into, everything's going to change, brothers. So, you know, stay on point and don't let the distress of women, you know, distract you from the spiritual aspect, which is, you know, our salvation and determination towards this truth, to wake up our people and, you know, seek our own salvation. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.